joined live in the studio with Jerry Ta, PropertyCareHouston.com. That's PropertyCareHouston.com, 713-489-7653. That's 713-489-7653. How'd you get such an easy phone number?
I don't know. I mean, it started out as a Grasshopper.
Oh, really?
Remember? And then we use
switched
Ring Central now. So
how do you like Ring Central?
You know, there's a lot of complaints about it.
Yeah, but you like it?
I like it enough. And people, and it's funny because I read the forums, you know, the support forums and stuff, and people are like, well, if there was something better, we all switch already, but there's not. So that's why we're all here.
But you like it better than Grasshopper?
Well, I have physical phones.
Yeah,
throughout
okay.
my office. And
Oh, that's why.
yeah, so
okay.
I have physical. I have the app. I have my fax connected to it, and then they actually also have a like a team collaboration typing, like AIM.
Yeah.
But it's called GLIP, so it's all connected in one package.
Got it.
For you. So I do like it enough.
Okay, and then does that mean that you also have like an app that you could have that phone number? Is like you have voice over IP with your?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, got it. All right. So I'm trying to remember the one that we just went to. There's one. Oh man. Well, it's really probably not that important for the radio show listeners.
I think there's a few. There's Jive, 8x8.
Yeah, Jive's the one. Yeah. We had used 8x8 when we were over in the Westheimer office. We used 8x8 and had physical phones and all that. But we've just gone to Jive for our pen group and for listing houses and things like that. So far we like Jive.
Yeah,
that was the one I couldn't think of.
I mean, you know, if you're managing your own rental properties, I'd probably suggest not giving out your personal cell phone number.
Yeah,
so you don't get texts and calls throughout the days, nights,
I know
weekends.
Yeah, right.
That's my number one advice if you're managing your own rental properties. Like, you might want to keep that personal cell phone.
Well, let's get into property management because I called you and you called me right back but I didn't get a chance to ask you the question. I'll go ahead and do it on air.
Yeah.
So I had a client that called up and said, "Hey, I've got a landlord tenant situation. Got a friend of mine that's a tenant. I know the landlord, right? And so the landlord said, "Hey, I want to come in and do an inspection on the property." And the tenant's like, "Hey, my baby's sleeping. I don't want you to do it right now." You know, so what's the legal rules between what a landlord can force and what a tenant can't? Tenant can't keep the landlord out forever and ever. Amen. Landlord has a right to inspect the property, right? So
that's correct. The landlord has the right. It is his property at the end of the day.
Right.
Tenants may believe that they own the property now, but that's not true.
Right.
And don't quote me on this.
Okay.
I want to say it's 24 hours.
Okay,
as long as you give proper 24-hour
notice. That's what I said. I said I think if you give 24 hours, you got to make a time within 24 hours.
Yeah.
And so what if the tenant doesn't? And it's my understanding that the landlord can enter with a locksmith.
Yeah.
Or a key because I think the tenant had changed the locks. And so a landlord can change the locks. Now they have to provide a new key at no charge to the tenant, right?
Well, if the tenant changed the locks
without giving it to the landlord?
Given to the landlord, the tenants are responsible
for providing a key to the
landlord. Yeah. And if not, then he's responsible for the locksmith.
Yeah. Okay, got it. All right. So 24 hours, don't quote you on it, but it's 24 hours given that. Okay. That's what I was calling about is I had the person on the phone at the time and I was going to three-way you in. And then I got the exact same answer from I called my attorney next.
Okay.
Yeah. And he said, "Yeah, I think it's 24 hours." And again, he said, "Don't quote me on that. I could look it up."
Yeah.
That's one of those statutes that, I know it's in there. It seems like it's about 24 hours. That would be reasonable. And now, in the event of, like, hey, there's a report that something's going on, in the property right then, like a potential emergency, they can they don't have to give 24-hour notice.
No, you go right
in. So if the person says, "Hey, I don't want to give you access the next 24 hours. I don't want you doing that," then the tenant really can't do that, right?
I mean, they can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Not legally.
Not legally. Yeah.
Right.
The owner always should have ability to get access into his own property. Owners can change locks whenever they, and I'm not giving any kind of legal advice or anything, but technically, even if you're in the process of evicting someone, you can change their locks. But if the tenant asks you to give them a key, you got to give them a key,
right?
But so they can get back into the property.
Yeah, but if they don't ask, then you don't have to. Yeah,
not necessarily.
Right. Sound like you're speaking from experience.
No, I mean, I've learned that from a lot of people. It's like, of course you can change your own locks, but if the tenant asks you for a key, you have to. You have
to give them access to their stuff, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. So you're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio. Our phone number is 713-785-1817. I'm joined live in the studio with Jerry Ta. He's with PropertyCareHouston.com. That's PropertyCareHouston.com, 713-489-7653, 713-489-7653. What's one of the biggest things that you see that landlords make as a mistake, either on purpose or that, like, oh, I didn't know that? What do you see happens the most frequently?
I think one of the things I see a lot, and I think tenants are trained, is all of a sudden you're supposed to walk these properties with your tenants.
Yeah.
When you walk properties with tenants, either on the move out or move in or move out, I would say that's always a bad situation. All of a sudden you start becoming friends.
Yeah.
You make promises that you probably didn't want to do.
Right.
Maybe a touch up paint here, like it got this cosmetic. People have a very hard time imagining a vacant, completely empty house.
Right.
A wall may be a little smudged here and there, but once you get all the furniture in there, you're not going to see a lot of things.
Right.
So, my suggestion is never walk a property with a tenant, either on the move in or move out. In our move in letter email that we send out to all tenants is that here's your inventory condition form.
Right.
Complete this form along with any and all pictures that you want us to show us.
Right.
In one email.
Yep.
I'm not going to sit there and...
It's not like going to Enterprise and renting a car.
Yeah.
Where you got to do the quick walk around and you have to show them all the dings and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you become friends.
Yeah, right.
Which is the worst part is the moment you become friends with your tenants.
Yeah, you need to keep this a business transaction, right?
Yeah.
You don't become friends with the person that's the cashier at the grocery store,
right?
I mean, you just like, hey, this is all business, right?
Yeah.
It's
like, oh, I have one bad lemon.
Yeah,
Can you go get me another? Like, no.
Yeah,
yeah. It's a self-service.
Yeah, right.
Type thing.
Yeah.
And on the move out too, I get every single time I get a move out, I would like a walkthrough the day after I move out and like my security deposit. The answer is no. We're going to walk the property the moment you vacate the property completely.
Right. For sure, right.
And then we have 30 days to refund your security deposit less any damages beyond normal wear and tear that you did on the property.
Yeah. And then you document that with photographs and things like that. So
exactly.
How often do you find that, what percentage of the time do tenants leave the property based on just normal wear and tear? Is that 50%?
I'd say under 50%.
Under 50.
Under 50%.
That they do more than just normal wear and tear.
And a lot of times, I would say we gotten better and it's been better and better.
Yeah. You think that's because of the tenant screening that you do?
I say this tenant screening, and a lot of properties that we've been getting are brand new rehab properties.
Yeah,
from
right.
Flooded houses, whatever. So
so they're in pristine condition.
Exactly. So we know what we gave you.
Right.
These aren't recently turned over.
Right.
So tenants know that, and then when they leave, we have we do a maid service. When you leave, we expect the maid service back. Obviously, there's always going to be minor wear and tear.
Of course.
Beyond wear and tear here and there, but usually we don't. It's not terrible.
Nice. Okay.
2 minutes.
So PropertyCareHouston.com, PropertyCareHouston.com, 713-489-7653. Is there anything that you see that landlords should be doing that they're not doing? Like one of the things that I noticed, for example, is I'm surprised at how many people aren't aware of the fact that you're supposed to have the thumb turn locks on the inside. I mean, that's like landlord code, right? I mean, your property's not up to code, but does the city really enforce that, or?
It's it's one of those things where it doesn't really come up until it becomes an issue.
Right.
And you always want to avoid that. It's not the cost of it.
Right.
It's not great. It's like a smoke alarm.
Right.
Yeah, you can have a property with no smoke alarms until
somebody dies in a fire, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sure.
And then next thing you know, you got the whole world coming down on you.
Right.
So same thing.
Then you're just a slumlord, right?
Yeah. Same thing with thumb turn. Smoke alarms, I think almost every single time I go in a property, we got empty, no batteries in the smoke alarms.
Right.
One thing we've gone to the 10-year lithium ion
Nice.
on almost every single property now.
Yeah.
It just makes sense.
Yeah.
For us.
Yeah, because why do they pull the battery out? It's like starts beeping in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
How come it never beeps in the middle of the day?
It just happened to me in my own house. It blows my mind. It was 4 a.m.
It's like,
and it beeped real loud
Yeah.
one time first, and then it just every few minutes it started
Right.
beeping. I was like, oh my god.
how does that never happen at 4 o'clock in the afternoon? Or Saturday, like 1 o'clock in the afternoon when you're home and you could run down to Home Depot or just pull a 9-volt out of the. It never happens in the middle of the day.
So lithium ion, big. I mean, I think it's $50 for a 3-pack versus the cheap $5.
Yeah, it's like $16.
You know,
$16.67.
People don't realize the cost of 9-volt batteries.
My gosh. Yeah.
They're really expensive. I mean, I think
it's
they're
not
like
just the
$4.
cost; it's the fact that you got to send somebody out there to change them. And like, oh my God, talk about automating. Yeah, that's brilliant.
I mean, between
do they have lithium-ion smoke detectors / carbon monoxide detectors?
We don't. It's not required to have carbon monoxide. I know. So we never. I've never looked into carbon monoxide.
Okay. All right, so you've been listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio. I was joined live in the studio with Jerry Ta. He's propertycarehouston.com. That's propertycarehouston.com, 713-489-7653. Y'all are a flat $85 a month.
That's correct.
So I just want to give out your price.
That's perfectly fine.
It's awesome. All right. Whether it's whether it's a $1,000 a month house, whether it's a slumlord house.
Yeah, I mean, you look on our website, we got a $5,000 rental right now.